Right guys, as you can see, I've actually made a start and I've just sort of painted some brown paint as an earth colour. So that's going to be my actual base for the bottom. As you can see, I've gone all the way down. Right, what I'm going to do is, my next job, I've got some of these. It's the centenary from Dapol. That's what it looks like. So we'll get these out, we're going to get these on, and we're going to see how it looks. And then after I've done that, I'll then look at doing a little bit of flocking, bit of bushes, and just a little bit of detail work. So that's where we're going to go next. So we'll have a look at that and we'll see what it looks like when I've done that. Alright then, one thing I would like to point out before I actually start it is that in the pack you actually get 2 lengths of arms. Now this is purposely done. The idea is that you go from a long arm to a short arm, because what actually happens is the cable between the two actually crosses. It actually crosses like that, and then it comes back the other way. The reason it does that is basically so that the wear and tear on the actual arms on the locos gives an even wear. So what you need to do, guys, is you need to do it alternately. So you've got a long arm, short arm, long arm, short arm. That way the wire in theory is crossing over to give an even wear on the arm on the actual pickups on the locos. Well, I just thought I'd give you a little heads up on that one for those that don't know. Right guys, we've got the centenary in now, so we're going to start on a bit of scenic work. Now what am I going to use? Well, I've got all sorts of things here guys. Right then, we have got all sorts of wonderful weird scenic items here. Right, we've got all sorts of bushes here, different colours. We've got some trees. I've got a few of the Jarvis range here. 3 different colours to get the blends. These are the tree foliage packs. These are just trees that I've managed to pick up. Take you across a bit more. Right, this is the Jarvis light green fine turf. We've got the light green, we've got the mid green, we've got the dark green. Now then, some people don't like the Jarvis range, and I'll tell you why they don't like it. But if it's used properly, it can be used to your advantage. Now the Jarvis is what you call not colour fast. Basically what that means is the colour will bleed from the scatter. Once it's wet, you'll get a bit of colour bleed. Now what I'm going to do is, if I'm mixing my colours, hopefully it will actually blend the colours a little bit better, make it a little bit more seamless. So that's why I'm going to try the Jarvis stuff, and we're going to see how that works. Take it a little bit further across. The old Woodlick Scenics, we've got some underbrush. Go a bit further, we've got some coarse turf, and we've got some bushes. And go a bit more further, a few more turfs. Now these I am impressed with. These actually look quite nice. These are small bushes by tajimal.co.uk. As you can see, so we'll give that a shot. And down here I have various earth tones. Right, this is the GM 108. All it is, it's just a sandwich filler. I prefer to use these if I can. We'll open it up, and as you can see, I've got that tone there. So put that on there. This one, open this one up. This one is the Jarvis dark brown. Again, a different, slight different shade. This one is Modelling Matters. A lot less in here, it's a lot smaller pack. Again, different brown. And this one again is Modelling Matters. And that's the dark peaked, which a lot darker. So what I intend to do, as you can see, different shades, and again more different shades. So I'm going to play around with all these earth tones. I don't want a lot of grass on here, I want it patchy, so I'm going to do a bit of the earth tones. Got some very fine grey material. I'm going to use this as a bit of a stone path, I think. And another thing I want to concentrate on is, if we go down, as you can see, that is my original pond area. Well, it's not much of a pond, is it? So I'm going to carve this out. I'm going to make a bit of a bigger pond, I think. So I'm going to take you along the journey. We'll see how we get on with that as well. We'll get a bit done and I'll show you what I've done when we get back. Right guys, as you can see, I've now carved away a bit of plaster. That is actually just the original baseboard. All I'm going to do is I'm going to seal it first with some brown. There, I would say there's a good, what, 3mm there, I reckon. So that'll give me a nice edge, but once this brown's on, we should be good to go. I'm not even going to bother mixing this on the palette. I'm just going to slap a bit of that in, like that. Got my brush in water, and I'm just going to swizz it around. That's all I'm going to do. Water it down a bit in parts. Hopefully it shouldn't look too bad once it's watered down a bit. Got the edges in. Get all those screw holes covered. But this I'm actually going to fill up with some, let's say, water product. I'm going to go old school on this. I am literally just going to use some varnish. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do first. We've got a nice edge to that pond, like that. Try and take some of it out a bit, just to make a bit of patchy. It's not all solid colour. I want it to dry with a bit of patchiness to it. Some of it off. Like that. That screw head I'll just cover up with some bushes, something like that. Okay, we'll let that dry and then we'll do a little bit more work on it and see what we can actually come up with for it. Right, while the paint's wet, I've just given it a light sprinkle on the edges with some of these earth tones. Hopefully, with the paint being a bit wet, it'll soak up a little bit into it as well. Let's see if I can take you in a bit. There we go. Still got some hoovering up to do around here. So we'll let that dry, get the board hoovered, and then we'll start doing a bit more work around there. Right, as you can see, I've finally got some hedges in. I've got a little bit of grass work in. See if I can take you across a bit. Got all my hedges. This is going to be my pond area. Let's zoom you in a bit more. And it will take you up to the other end. And there you go. So I've got all the grey stuff down here. This is still drying at the minute. As you can see, it's starting to look a little bit different now. So this is the pond work. Now I'm going to put varnish in here, but it's dipped down a bit. So what I need to do first of all is we need to put some form of barrier on there to stop the varnish leaking down. So I'm just going to leave that forward a little bit. So what am I going to do? I am going to use good old Yoo-hoo and a bit of plastic strip. Good old Yoo-hoo, nothing special there. Plastic card, nothing special there. And I'm going to glue this on. And we'll glue it on there. I'm going to use Yoo-hoo because it's a rubber bound glue. In theory, it should just peel off. But that we'll find out in due course. So I'll get back in a minute and we'll get it sorted. And I am going to put a bond of Yoo-hoo straight across here. I'm not too worried about it running down, it'll all sand off. I just want to get a nice bond just down there. Right, just like that. Next job is I'm going to put this on like that. So that is going to be my barrier. Bring that up to height like that. Right then, so we've got a bit of plasticard here, we've got a piece of wood here. Yoo-hoo glue glues the plasticard to the board, forming a barrier. Clamps are pushing the card up. Therefore, that should be a nice join there. So we can pour a little bit of varnish in there. I'm just going to measure it up now. And I am about 2.5 mil deep there. Well, that's ideal for what I want. Should make a nice little pond. So we'll let that dry, let it harden, take the clamps off tomorrow, and we'll get some varnish slapped in there. That's what I'm going to use. So we'll come back tomorrow and we'll have a look at that. Right guys, this is the varnish, the first lot I did. Now then, what I have noticed is a lot of it is vanished. This is something I forgot to take into account. The actual surrounding base around the track and everything is cork. So what's actually happened is a lot of the varnish is soaked up into the cork quite simply. But this I am not worried about, because what will happen is when it's nice and hard, it'll actually form a seal, so when the next layer goes in, it should be fine. So I just thought I'd show you that quick update. So when this actually finally goes off, we'll get the next layer in and we'll just keep building it up like that, and then we'll do the final reveal and we'll see what it looks like, guys. Right then, this is something I've just managed to get through the post for my pond. It's by Langley Models and we've got 4 swans and 4 ducks. This is what they look like. So we're going to get these painted up and we'll see what they look like when they're done. Right then, it's took me a long time to do this. I've finally got rid of varnish in the pond. The varnish has dried. I put this little bit of masking tape on just in case there was any leakage, because the varnish is very, very thin and I don't think it has leaked. So now we're going to go for it. So let's see what happens. I've got a scraper here, so I'm going to try and release it and we'll see what happens. Now then, let's have a look. Coming in. Here goes. There we are. Right, it looks like a bit of it has come out underneath. It's actually a little bit sticky still. Not too bad. I've got an edge to the varnish up here. That doesn't look too bad. That should sand off nicely. So I'll scrape some of this access. Just goes to show you, all that is varnish that's leaked through. Really does show you how good your seal needs to be. Right, so what I think I'm going to do, now I've took this off, I think the next best thing really is I'm going to leave it for a few days now. Make sure it is all solid. Then we'll give it a little bit of sand. I'm not worried about this grey on the front of the board. All that's going to get painted anyway. But the main thing is that I would say is a good 2-3 mil above the surface. So what I've got here, if you look here, I've got 2 frogmen, one there, one there. These are prizer and the frogmen. You can see the oxygen tanks, I still need to add them on. These are number 79088. I've had these years. To give you an idea how long I've had them, it's still had a label on it of £4. You won't get them for £4 these days. I think you're normally looking about 11-12 quid. And my idea is I've got some prizer workmen as well. So I think to this side I'm going to have a little workman watching them, so they're doing something in the pond. My workmen are 79035. So I shall choose one of those as a supervisor. And of course I've got my swans still to put on, and my ducks as well. So that is going to be the next stage. I'm going to let this harden. I need this to harden before I start sanding it. I don't want to hit anything soft and sticky. So it takes a long while, does this varnish process. Really does take a long while. But I wanted to show you the old school way of doing it and how effective the pond actually can look. Right guys, as you see on my pond, it's got some muddy swelling bits around the side. I've gone in, I've used that stuff. It's the modelling matters, it's the peat marsh brown. Looks like that. And I've literally just sprinkled it in when I varnished. And obviously it's setting the varnish has gone round it. And look, it's made it look right peaty and boggy just on the edges, just how I wanted it. So we're going to leave that now. That's the reveal for the time being. Right guys, I've done my sanding for now. Not painted it yet because I've still got a bit of work to do at the minute. Here you go, there's me little supervisor, my 2 little divers, including the oxygen tanks now on the back. I will take you over to the other end of the pond. So as you can see, I've finally got my swans in. I've got a couple of ducks in as well, so I'm quite happy with that. I still have a lot of work to do on the bottom here, so I'll take you over to one end and I'll show you what my idea is for that one. So on this end I've got my buffer stop in. I still got a bit of work to do, get some bushes in. What else do I plan on doing? So I want to get a few bushes in around the bottom here. And here, what I'm thinking of putting is a little porter cabin. I've got one on order. I thought I'll have a little network rail porter cabin there. Probably put a van in there as well. A few little scrap items around. But this side in here, I actually intend using probably for a Thunderbird. That's the idea there. Bit of a rescue train if I need one. So that's my intention at this end. I will be lighting up the porter cabin as well. So we'll see how that looks when it's done. And I've still got some work to do on this end as well. What I intend doing is I'm going to put some line side fencing down here. I shall probably put a few more bushes in as well, build that up. Probably put a tree in there as well, break the scenery up a little bit. Might even put a bush in there. I will have some people here, maybe even a bicycle or something, so it's like a bike path. So that's my idea for the bottom on this one. So I've still got plenty to do, so when we come back we'll see what I've got done. But for now, that's it for this episode, guys. Thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and if you have, you know what to do, hit the button. So thank you for now.